Time is 8:30. Is it 8:30?
Yes, sir. Yes, 8:30.
Okay, okay. So let me start with my presentation. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, it's this, sir.
All right. So let me do a formality of a ritual in TA language. And good evening and welcome ICTA President Father Joy James, Vice President Secretary Mr. Ranjit, my GC colleagues Mr. Jimon, Mr. Saint George, our dear ex-Vice President A. Sebastian sir, and others. Girija Madam is there. So welcome my MTA colleagues Sulo, Sunila, and my Gujarat chapter friends are here. Thank you very much for joining. All the dignitaries and TEA enthusiasts, welcome to this session today. Thanks NCTA organizers, specifically Rasika, Shajan, Dr. Ruby, uh, Ashita and Sajitha Rashid for organizing this webinar a fantastic way. And I'm thankful to you for giving me this opportunity to talk about scripting success of organization in the light of our theme. So let me first ask you, have you seen my teaser? Do you have any thoughts that what I would cover? Quickly, if you have any thoughts, please give the feedback. What do you think will be the contents of my session? Okay, with the time constraint, let me show you. This is what I'm going to talk about, stories, script, right? Specifically in the light of individual and organization. And individual has a personality, organization has a culture. So we'll talk about that, taking further to what Mr. Jimon had presented the in his previous presentation when we talked about the organizational presentation in the webinar series. Then we'll talk about soft skills and how TA can add value to organizational change and organizational development. So we all have stories. So let's start with the stories first. Yeah. Stories are the narratives people tell themselves and others. We as human beings have many stories to tell each other. And stories start from early childhood. Stories of our childhood days, going to our native places, going to our grandparents, and having sharing the stories. I recall going to our village, which was native place, and sharing the city stories when we go there, and vice versa. When we came back, we would share our stories with friends in city and tell them how village life is. So there are so many stories happening every now and then, and that starts from the childhood. Stories about teachers, about friends, going to grandparents, going to tourist places, playgrounds, competitions, and so on. I'm sure you could also see in front of your eyes the stories you have experienced in your childhood. The stories, good, bad, happy, sad, with gratitude, with complaints, all sorts of stories. These stories reflect life script of people, and life script in turn can influence stories people tell. So let me show you what is life script. There would be, I'm sure, some who are new to TA. There are many masters, but many new also, and would like to know. So one of the important concepts of TA is script. And script is a blueprint of one's life, which is written in the childhood based on the stories, based on the experiences the child is getting. So script is a plan, life plan based on a decision made in childhood, reinforced by parents, justified by subsequent events, and culminating into a chosen alternative. We form script and life position by 5, 6 years of age we keep modifying, adjusting, and validating our life script with life experiences we get, stories we live. Many stories are negative stories. Of course, we get positive stories, but there are many stories which are negative, which happen and which also have a big impact on our life. And we keep learning, we keep getting our education and then get a job, and we are very happy thinking that now we will have all nice stories around. We will have all fun, only fun, majja. But it is not to be. Here also, well, I talked about the life script. This is life position. Life position is our basic beliefs about self and others, which are used to justify decisions and behaviors. So, life position is a part of life script, and there are four types of life positions. It starts with I am okay, you are okay, which is considered healthy position. And then there are I am okay, you are not okay, which is a one up position. I am not okay, you are okay is a one down position. And the last, which is I am not okay, you are not okay, and which is a hopeless position. So as we grow, we get job, we think that the life will have now new nice stories, but alas, what happened? We go to the office, and though the faces over here are smiling, don't go by that. There are many stories, and many stories which are affecting you personally and professionally. So the stories in the over the lunch, stories in the canteen, and all of them not really nice. What we start listening is how manager is bad, how there is no communication among HODs, how that culture is disgusting, no motivational leadership, no fun at work, how behavior of colleagues is bad, and so on. Stories confirm life script and life position. Do you remember session by Mr. Jimon Mantra? Yeah. So Rosa Cost has discussed use of script theory in organizational setting. She has given the understanding of unconscious individual group behavior which affects the organization or rather negatively impairs organization. The concept of organizational ideology was discussed in our previous session, which is actually providing alternate way to analyze external adaptation and internal integration in organization. So if you recall, there were mainly four issues that have been identified as relevant in the analysis of organizational functioning: work, time, people, and money. Each of them seem to have different sets of beliefs, ideologies about business world, and how it operates. Based on these issues, four basic ideologies could be considered in the analysis of organizational scripts. So these ideologies may be used as a guide in organizational script diagnosis. The directives contained in the ideologies that are followed by individuals as members form the organizational script. Those directives may be followed consciously or unconsciously and verbally or non-verbally transmitted. Now, you see, we will just see what are those four types, as I mentioned earlier. But human beings have the intuition to select among existing organizations the ones that best suit their script. And organizations also usually have their own mechanisms for choosing those who will serve the organizational script. So both are looking for complementary scripts from each other. But if it doesn't happen, then there are issues. Now the gatekeepers, the owners, chief executive officers, general managers, they are the one who play very important role in the organizational script formation because they are driving their ideologies and they play a very complementary role in organizational drama. These are the different ideologies: time ideology, people ideology, money ideology, and on the other hand, how that is being exhibited in the modes of functioning of the organization. So this part we had seen, and we had seen that how four types of results can come out. So there can be winner, there can be non-winner, there can be non-loser, and then can be loser. And then we said, how can we help organization in changing the script or going from loser, non-loser to now, so far we have talked about the script of individual, the script as the person joins a job, there is an organizational script and which can be, as we have just now seen, driven by different ideologies. We also saw that how childhood scripts, childhood stories are affecting our script and life position. Now let's look at what further. So can we change? Yes. This is what Rosa Krauss says that script theory offers wide field to be explored by organizational transactional analysts. So this script theory is offering us a very wide field to be explored. And the search for new alternatives to understand aspects of organizational culture and process can definitely be explored. So to take it further, we need to get into understanding of the organizational culture, which I am trying to do today, and what we can do with respect to TA so that the culture's compatibility can be there. So let's know first about the organizational culture model of Robert Quinn and Kim Cameron. So Robert Quinn and Kim Cameron created a model of four organizational cultures. It is called a competing value framework because it is based on two pairs of opposite values. It starts with greed. The first pair of competing value are stability and flexibility, while the competition between more controlling organization and more agile ones can be seen here. The second pair of competing the second pair of competing values are inward-looking focus and outward-looking focus, concerns for internal matters or external matters. This gives us a classic 2 by 2 4-box model. You can see here that how if a company, you can see on the right side, is effective when they are adapting, changing, innovating, they would be in the higher up on the grid, and that is on the flexibility. You can see here. And if a company is effective when they are consistent and predictable, they would be lower on the grid. That is the stability part. Same way here, you can see if a company is effective, if they pay close attention to competition and focus their market niche, they would more be on the right of the grid. And if the company is effective, if the focus is on the internal processes and don't worry so much about the outside environment, they would be more on the left hand on the grid. Can you see this? I'm sure you could. So you can see here flexibility, stability, internal orientation and external orientation. Okay, so that's great. So why do I care about that? Yeah, how this will help me. So here we see that Quinn and Cameron gave us four distinct quadrants of cultural types. The first of these is clan culture. So this is the clan culture. You can see here, this culture is collaborative and nurturing. Members of the organization see themselves as a part of one big family. Here, leadership takes a light touch with a large emphasis on coaching and mentoring, support and guidance. Clan culture organizations tend to be value based with strong traditions, and the values that they tend to espouse are the things like teamwork, collaboration, support. The watchword for clan culture are let's do it together. So you can see here clan culture. Now I would like you to think about what kind of organization you are working for. Are you working for clan culture or other cultures, which I'll be just showing you? And then I would be asking you which kind of culture do you have? So the second one, here there is example of a build a beer workshop, but I'm sure you can think of your own. There are many companies, MNCs and small companies, which are having the culture, which is a clan culture type. The second culture is adhocracy. The adhocracy culture is outward flexible, energetic, creative, and entrepreneurial. Employees within advocacy culture feel like it is okay to take risks. So here, risk-taking ability is very high, and leaders themselves tend to be very innovative and entrepreneurial in the organization. To facilitate this, the organization encourages experimentation and gives individual freedom to innovate and do as they see fit. Core values reflect the need of innovation, change, agility. The watchword in this culture are let's do it first. They want to do it first. They want to be ahead in the competition and they want to be different. So maybe you may have some companies which are IT based or technically very sound. Those kind of culture is, they will be having advocacy culture. So these are about the adhocracy culture. I will not take the names. You think about what you feel is the culture, because we will see in the end that how it can be different also. The third is about the hierarchy culture. Now, Kenya and Cameroon, they have given the culture which is inward and stable. So hierarchy culture is inward and stable. It has a strong structure and tends to exert a high degree of control over its members and the things they do. The work environment tends to be formal with strict procedures, processes, and policies. So the role of the leadership is largely around coordinating the work and monitoring the performance. The values that matter are efficiency, predictability, consistency, and uniformity. This is, if you like to say, the precise opposite of the advocacy culture. So you can probably link this with government organizations or public sector kind of organizations. The result is that change is very slow in hierarchical cultures. And you should recognize this description on many bureaucratic and government organizations. For them, the watchwords are let us do it right. They want to do speed, efficiency, all is next. First is right. So moving on, they have given this for the McDonald's also. So such companies also could be there. The market culture. So talking about the fourth culture, that is the market culture, it is outward focused and stable. So here the culture is focusing on the external things and not the internal part more. It is focusing on the competing with the other organizations. Yeah. So maybe organizations like, as we saw, McDonald's, or for that matter, Pepsi, Cola, they, tough competition. They focus on the competing with other organizations and achieving results. For them, results are very important, which means that leaders have to be tough, competitive, and assertive. The organizations comes together around a common goal, and that goal is of beating its rivals. Sometimes to do this, leaders feel they have to be demanding on the time and energy of its employees. Everything in market organization is driven by need, market share, and profitability. So their watchwords are something like, let's just do it. So Quinn and Cameron, they were of the opinion, or they opined, that the flexible organization are among these most successful in the modern world. Now, this can be argued about. People can have opinions, but they say that because they can adapt more readily to changing circumstances, they can accommodate different subcultures within the organization that are needed to address particular problems. So organizations may have some dominant culture, like we saw four cultures here. Again, you can see in the summary, the clan culture, very friendly place to work where people share a lot of themselves. It is like a extended family. The hierarchy culture, a very formalized structure place to work with. Procedures govern what people do. The adhocracy culture, a dynamic, entrepreneurial, and creative place to work. People stick their necks out and take risks. And the market culture is the result oriented organization whose major concern is getting the job done. People are competitive and goal oriented. So, I would like you to give your feedback on what kind of culture do you have in your organization quickly that you feel. Can I see the feedbacks? Are there feedbacks? Rasika, there any
Yes, it's coming in the chat
chat box?
box. Ms. Sulojana has mentioned it as advocacy. Shajan mentioned it as market culture. Sadish mentioned that market culture. Sujan has mentioned it as clan. I hope you can see the chat.
Yeah, let
Now that
me.
you're sharing, you can just go to the taskbar, either on the upper side.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
can just click on the chat, you can. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Let's
there.
have more responses. It's quite an interesting part. Mr. Sanjay has mentioned it as combo of market and advocacy.
Combo of market and very good. Yeah, yeah. So that's also one of the important points, that it is not necessary that there may be a dominant culture, but there will be sometimes mix of the culture also. For example, in the department like accounts, you may have the strict culture which is stable, and you don't want any kind of innovation there. But the same company may have the culture different in their product development or in the marketing. So yes, I appreciate that combo also could be there. So while organization may have one dominant culture, it is quite possible that there can be combination in the same organization. And then what happens is, many a times employees leave organization as they find culture not suitable. It could be overall company culture or department culture due to either boss or whosoever, with whom they are working. Same way, organizations also may find that some employee is not a cultural fit. What can be done? Either they separate or compromise or upskill to develop skills to match the cultural requirements, so that the culture is we are talking about, because like a human personality, it's an organizational personality, and if the person is not comfortable, it's very suffocating to work there. So what can be done? Yeah. So what companies do is companies train people, yeah, provide the training so that they learn the skills to match or adjust with the culture. And in that, soft skill is considered to be very common. Just to share here, there has just I came across L&D trend report, and I'm sure there would be others who are from experts in the training. They would also throw some light. But I came across this report, and that says that 2025, that here also, though AI and there will be other things, of course, which will have focus topics in training and development, like POSH is one area, legal requirements would be another, or the AI is there, so those things will be there. But when it comes to the cultural things, one of the common things is about the soft skill development. And in that, there are certain soft skills which are commonly identified as the training and development need. So, as I was just showing, there could be a number of other soft skills. I have just here mentioned some of them, but very commonly, these are identified as the needs: leadership skill, communication, creativity, interpersonal skills, professional development, decision making, time management, emotional intelligence. I consider behavior-based safety also very important for the manufacturing organization, and so on. What happens, So this L&D trend report also mentions similarly leadership, and then effective communication, preparedness for change, conversations, yeah, winning teams, feedback mechanism, resilience, inclusive leadership, all those things. So the companies think that they will be able to do something for the employee by imparting him the training. And what training? Soft skill training. Here, yes, soft skill can be developed, yeah, with the training and development. These skills also have obvious application in all areas of personal life, that is both professional and personal. And some methods to learn are take a course, seek mentors, volunteer, etc. All these things are happening. But, and then people have very detailed training programs, yeah. So here we can see communication, leadership, interpersonal, creativity. What happens is that's not enough. Many times, these results of these trainings are temporary. After the program, there is a temporary time when there is a change in the person and he goes back. And then organizations come across the situation where they say there is no use of this training, or it's not worth investing because it doesn't have much impact. Now, why does this happen? That what happens because of which it doesn't last long, and what can be done? So here, my suggestion is to give transactional analysis training. And when they are coupled, both the trainings, yeah, then they can give the boosting impact, and that boosting impact is A plus B whole square. Yeah. So what does this mean? It means that when two persons are working together, 1 plus 1 can be 2, but 1 plus 1 can be 11 also, and 1 plus 1 can become 1 or 0 also. So do you agree? So what happens is, when we want to bring in the cultural change or help employee to adjust or develop so that he gets his best or he gives his best and we get what we wanted, then if we give this training of transactional analysis, then we can get the best. For example, there are two persons, one having, दोनों तन मन से काम कर रहे हैं. Yeah. So we say that A has a capacity of delivering 2 and B has a capacity to deliver 3 units. Okay. So A delivers A square, that is 4, and B delivers 3 square, that is 9, and total becomes 13. Now when they are working independently, you get 13 as an output. Now if you have given them transactional analysis training, then you will get A plus B square whole square impact. I'll come to that. So what you can include in transactional, these are basic things. These are basic 12 hours program, but depends on the person's role in the organization, you should impart the training. So some people may require longer program so that they really understand it and spread it in the organization effectively. What it can include? It can include introduction, philosophical assumption, ego state analysis, transactional analysis, strokes, time structuring, introduction to games, script, life position, discounting. These are some of the things which are very, very useful in the organization. And once the person understands this, and then he is also taking the training on say soft skill, then it really becomes very effective. And you can expect A plus B square is equal to A square plus 2AB plus B square. What does this mean? 3 plus 2, 5 square is a 25. But when they are independent, you are getting 13. This 2AB comes when they are actually working together as a team. And if they don't work, it can be minus 2AB. So this is what actually happens. If the people are not working as a team, then they would probably be cutting or wasting a lot of time, energy in games, in discounting, and we will not be getting the results which actually we can get. So this kind of training will help organization to bring people together and really get the optimum from the organization, breaking the script or modifying the script of the organization, helping organization to change the culture, to helping the employees to develop in respective skills, soft skills. And I have done some experiments on this. So I had guided some students, MBA students, who studied relationship between transactional analysis and soft skill, relationship between transactional analysis and collaborative communication, relationship between behavior-based safety and transactional analysis, and they are found absolutely positive. That's what I have seen, but I'm sure there is a lot of work which has been done. People must be doing, whether documented or not, but they can get benefit like this, which can be really amazing in my opinion. So thank you from my side. I think I have completed properly in time. Thank you. Any comments or any questions somebody would like to do?